What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. Well, we got another week ahead of us, so we're going to take a look at some key price levels. We're going to take a look at the crypto fear and greed indicator, as well as what our future forecast model is showing us. All right, guys, let's dive into this video.
Trade Genius.
All right, guys, well, since the week has closed, let's take a look at what the weekly bar looks like. Again, as you can see, guys, from our blow off top of 20,000 or so, we've just been consolidating, right? And that's very typical price action for Bitcoin when those cycles happen. Now, if we drill down, zoom in, we're going to see that, again, we have this descending wedge that we're in. Those are bullish, right? Wedges that are pointing down are bullish because what happens is once you break out of them, you tend to retrace. If you see a rising wedge, that's the opposite, that's bearish, and then you tend to fall out of those patterns. So we are getting to a point now where we're starting to challenge this upper trend line, and this has been a lid on all of our price action going back to April. So any highs that challenge that tend to roll over. Now, if we look at last week's candle, okay, so that's not the current one we're in, but this last one that we're in. What we're looking at is a high of 65.40 and a low of 62.71. So that's really the range that we're going to be looking at. Any price action that gets above or below that is going to be kind of a red alert for possible indication on the price action for the next few weeks going forward. We've really, we've poked our head above and below a few times, but by and large, we've just not been able to get a close out of that. So again, when I talk about these high-low levels, so we're talking about from 6,271 to 6,540, I'm looking for a close above those levels on the weekly candle. That would be very, I think, a big indicator, because we just really haven't seemed to be able to close outside of the weekly ranges. And this has been a very tight consolidation on the weekly. So that's what we're looking at, those levels there to close above or below to give us some indication of the price action going forward. Now let's take a look at the daily chart. All right, guys, so level that I'm looking at here is 63.95. That's kind of like a line in the sand. If we can get above that and get a daily close above that, I think that's going to be pretty bullish. Now, we had a prior level here. See, notice we got a close above that. We kind of came back, retested around that level, and then we shot higher right into that trend line, and then we rolled back over. So we've kind of retraced this move up here. If we throw a Fibonacci on this, we'll see from the low to the high. We came back in, tested this retracement kind of key bull area, but we're right up against this, under this trend line here. So what can happen? Well, we can certainly chop for a few more days, and we'll get into the model. This is to be expected, this price action, but really clearing this area here, this trend line and this 6,400 area on a daily close, getting above that, I think it's going to probably signal a move to 6,800. So that's the upside. Now, if we get a close back below, we take out this low of 6,271, then we're probably going to be looking at testing this lower trend line down here at around 61.25 or so, in that area. So be prepared to see those levels. Again, price, that would be another higher low if that held, because we've had a series of drops to those levels in the past, and they keep making higher lows. So this trend line is still an area of value to purchase or to buy Bitcoin if you're adding or if you're swing trading. And so that's what's in play for this week. All right, let's take a look at the crypto fear and greed indicator. Before we do that, I just want to remind you guys, we got these specials running. We changed these up, the packages. This is your crypto package. Again, if you're wanting to get your feet wet with crypto, we have the lessons and the trading room and our signal services, so it helps you get started on that. If you're more of a veteran, then the signal services to alert you on when our proprietary signals fire. We'll let you know that that's happening on TradingView, and then you can take a look and see if you want to take a position on those. But very convenient services, and again, comes with the binary options too, which is smoking hot, 127 and 8 on those since last March 2017, believe it or not. So encourage you guys to check that out and join us in the room. Okay, crypto fear and greed. This indicator, as you guys know, how we trade that is if you have a drop in this area and then a spike up or a hook up, then that's telling you to get long. Currently, we're going up into these levels here that historically we've run into resistance, but because of the low volatility, it's kind of, I think, weighting this more to why there's not as much fear. And so it's just really quiet, so it's making this fear gauge go up higher. If we started getting into the 60s or even breaching the 70s, I would say that a downturn is imminent. But right now, I think this could certainly drift up for a few more days, and we could see a reading higher than 60. Now, keep in mind that our forecast model, remember back here, if you guys have been following us, we said be prepared for some boring markets. We're going to chop for a while into November. And sure enough, that's what we've done. We drew this arrow, this line arrow way back in September of kind of the forecasted price action. So what do we have? Well, we haven't seen a whole lot of the up bias that we were looking to see right around this level or this area, which would have started around the beginning of November. We started to see it a little bit here, and then we kind of pulled back. We're just still stuck in this consolidation range. And so this probably is just going to gyrate around, but the key area I'm looking for, and this, you know, give or take a day or two, is going to be around this November 17th area, which correlates to this pivot area on the model, which would then see a move up. So for me, as far as how this model has continued to correlate, that's going to be a pretty key area. So keep an eye on that next week, and we'll dig into that more as we get closer to that. So right now, guys, that's about it. The alt market kind of doing the same thing as the Bitcoin market. If you look at the market cap, one thing I will leave you guys with is this is our current market cap, and you notice that, you know, we stress the trend lines and things like that on the altcoin market cap are key as far as when they break to give us indication of a move. And if you compare, this is the entire market cap. If you compare this back to 2014, you know, what you'll find is we see these similar time trend line here where we came off from the blow off top, we draw a trend line, and we're starting to see this break out of it. And when this happened back then, we basically had put in the low for that cycle, right? And so we're kind of at that point again with our market cap. So just food for thought there as well. But I think unless the model diverges, the lows should be in, as we've been saying for a few months now. So, all right, guys, well, that's it for this video. Hope it helps. Please hit like and subscribe. Again, check out our specials at tradelikeagenius.com. If you're on mobile, please ring that bell, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Take care. Bye.
Trade Genius.